All right, cool.
So
Yes?
is this going to be stream? This
Not yet.
No, this is
this thing that we're doing right now.
This is we're recording and then we'll release it on Monday. Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I know we're in makeup. Like, I need to do more about this.
Oh my gosh, you're fine. You look great, Carla.
I could do a Snapchat filter over you or something and post if you like.
Yes, please.
Josh,
Filters,
tell your wife she looks great.
You're beautiful, darling.
There you go. Reassurance.
Thank you. Yeah.
What's your charisma, Josh? Well, again, thank you guys. I know I've already said it a couple times, but thank you guys for joining me on this. I hope that we have fun. The thing that we're going to do today is called a session 0. I know that we've done it before, but just in case anybody at home hasn't done this or doesn't know what it is or has never heard of D&D for whatever reason, I'm not sure why you're watching this, but welcome. So session 0 is kind of like the pregame. It's the warm-up to the game. This is where we set our characters. It's where we set the boundaries for what we're going to be doing. We lay out the world, lay out the rules, lay out what we can and can't do, what we should and shouldn't do. Because once we get into session 1, it is going to be a sandbox, and we'll see how these 5 players can destroy it. So it'll be fun. So starting off, a lot of the guidelines that I'm going to be going over today are strictly just guidelines, because as we go through each and every episode, there's going to be some flexibility. There's going to be some changes. I will never contest to be the D&D master and know every rule. D&D is one of those games that comes with like a syllabus and a textbook and like homework and stuff. So it's hard. It's a hard game. It's not like Uno. So there'll be some growing pains as we go. But by the end of this session, we should have like a framework plan of what our schedule is going to be, the rules for the table, the foundations for the adventure, and like I said, a little bit of flexibility. So we already got started with some of the characters. So I'm going to go down in order on my screen at least, and we're going to kind of meet the players, and they can at least tell us who they're going to be playing, the character's name, and what their class is going to be.
So, hi everybody. My name is Fred Packard.
Hi, Freddie.
Hello, everybody. I am one of the hosts of Mainframe Comic-Con News. You probably recognize me if you paid attention to our last D&D campaign. I recently had a daughter, so that is why I am now transferring over to the role of player versus DM, just because of time restraints. And I'm very excited to dive into Terry Mayo's crazy wild world that he's created for us, and I have nothing but excitement, looking forward to everything that's coming out with this. I will be playing a half-orc barbarian named Moth. Moth grew up on the east coast of this island. His personality is, I would say, he's a bitter soul. He's gone through a lot of hardship in his life, but he's very protective over those he cares about, and he looks out for those who are less fortunate. He's like I say, he's been through a lot. He's a character that is very strong. He's very strong-willed, and I'm very excited to dive into to him and his backstory and see how he fits into this group of adventurers.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. And how did you come up with the concept of where did all this come from?
So like a moth and a butterfly, I was kind of attributing to the stages of growth. A moth goes through a very similar stage as a butterfly, but one comes out pretty, one comes out ugly. So that is how my character got his name, going through all the ugly things in his life that he's been through that made him as strong as he is currently. As for the world that you've built, I thought that this would be a very interesting place to explore in terms of his roots, which is the wild east, if you will, which is where it came from. In my mind, he's a very Tarzan type character, and I'm very excited to dive into, like I said, everything that he's been through and bring that out into a world that is inhabited by people. Somebody that's very used to being by themselves.
Very cool. Is that the same kind of voice you're going to have, like a Tarzan? Me, Jane.
You're gonna have to give me. I've been actually while I was doing some Postmates today, I was listening to different accents and how to use them. So we might be jumping between a few until I figure out exactly which one I want to use.
Yeah. A little spoiler for our last campaign. Before every single episode, I would listen to like this 3-minute clip of Gerard Butler on YouTube, just to kind of get me in the.
Okay, now we know your secret.
That's my secret. There you
Yeah.
go. All right. Well, thank you very much, Fred. I appreciate it, man. So next up we have, boom. Hey, Eric.
Perfect. Hey, I'm Eric Hampton. I'm pretty new to the whole Nat One Network mainframe family, but hope to be getting in and contributing. The character I will be playing is named Boot. He is a drow rogue. So I kind of came at it from a wanting to kind of fill a little, I guess, kind of void in the party, just because, I mean, hearing kind of what some of the other people were doing. And so I wanted to kind of do a character that I haven't really done before. I've never ventured into that. So Boot is he grew up on the mean street of Burning Beacon. And basically is like one of the less fortunate that Freddy's character may come to love. Though he's not a fan of people because he's kind of experienced a lot of the harshness of living up on the streets, stealing to learn to survive, kind of fitting in what I thought, a character that would turn to being a thief would like he did it out of necessity, not because he necessarily loves it. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time, I think. First time really getting into somebody who's going to be sneak attacking.
A sneaky sneaker.
Mm-hmm. Normally I'm like charging in the front door with like barbarians or
when I heard your character's name, I initially thought of Dora the Explorer. I don't know why, but isn't there a character named Boots in Dora, or maybe that's Diego? I don't know, but
yeah, I think Map.
I think the monkey is called Boots or something.
The monkey is swiper, no swiping. Okay, right.
I think so. Maybe I don't know.
All of my previous characters have some like long, like fantasy type name. Like my first character was like a warlock, and his name was Stygor the Unbringer, right? Has some sort of like, name. So I was just like, it's gonna be Boot this time.
Boot.
And so far, they're pretty easy names to remember. We got Moth and Boot.
Moth and Boot. Yeah.
It sounds like a TV show.
Yeah.
Solving crimes.
Renegade cops, Moth and Boot.
This whole group thing doesn't work out, we can do a spinoff.
There you go. Very cool. All right. Well, have you ever played a rogue before, Eric?
No, this will really be my first time getting into it. So
very cool.
Ranged attack, not soaking up damage.
Nice. You mentioned you're going to do an accent, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do my best attempt at a Cockney accent because he's gonna be like on the rough streets of Burning Beacon. You think he survived on it and had to steal and think of his way to survive.
I'm doing the lip thing that you're doing as well, like
curling the lip up. Yeah.
That's because I just want to keep saying, "What are you thinking?
Well, you're
crazy."
Just say that.
Very
so
cool.
Good.
All right, man. Well, thank
That's
you very
great.
much, Eric. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
And next we have up Mr. Barn. How you doing, Barney?
Hi, I'm Mr. Barn. I'm Barney Greer. I'm going to be playing. I've been looking at a Tabaxi Bard. I got to very briefly play a 5th level Tabaxi Bard in one of Carlos' campaigns, and I had a good time with it, and I really wanted to like do that, but more. So
Yeah.
I decided,
More.
why not start
the
from
character.
level 1 this time and see how that fleshes out. His name is Casco God, is Cascola Lionel. Cascola Lionel is his name. And his friends he goes by Cask. So we got Moth Boot and Cask. And yeah, he's in the army. He's one of the cooks that has been helping out everybody. But he's a bit of a trickster. He uses his spell Prestidigitation a lot to flavor the food, to make it taste really good, even though he doesn't always cook it. And so, but
Salmonella.
so he does his part a little bit. Yeah, and I'm.
He
very
likes it
excited to see
raw
how
and wriggly.
he's gonna interact with everyone else.
Very cool. All right. And Barney, you do some DMing as well, right?
I do. Yeah. I've got my own campaign that I DM on Sundays.
Very cool.
Yeah, that one's pretty fun. I've got a member of the who's it? Rick is in there as well. He plays a dragonborn named Drock in that one.
Nice.
They
And
just let a beholder slip away from their grasp and lost a very important piece of armor. So that's good. But that's another thing.
I know it's like apples and oranges a little bit, but do you have a preference playing or DMing?
Do I have a preference? I really like playing because I get to interact with everyone a little bit more so, whereas in DMing, when I have like an NPC, I usually let them take the back seat and let the players do their thing.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to be a player in this campaign here.
Very cool. What I'm excited about is for the first time that you and Eric are in the same room and someone calls you Puss in Boots. That's what I'm excited for.
Oh. Nice.
Brilliant.
Well done.
And you have an accent as well in this one?
Yeah, it's gonna be like vaguely Eastern European. So, like the movie
wow.
Van Helsing, where everyone kind of struggled with landing on an accent.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
Like Kevin Costner and Robin Hood sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes no, just
Exactly.
kind of like-
What is it? It's close to something, but we're not really sure.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Mr. Barn. Appreciate
You're
it, man.
Barney. You're what? A tabaxi what?
Bard.
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 All right, next we have up one half of the power couple. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. Well,
Awesome.
tell us a little bit about your guy.
So this time around, I figured I'd go back to a short character, but with big explosions. So I'm playing a gnome artificer. His name is Kellen. He grew up in a harbor town, but it also had a college and everything. And his only family that he is aware of is his father, who he hasn't seen in a few years, especially since as you'll go into in this world, there's been kind of a divide in the continent, and so he's been kind of separated from his father for some time. So he's that's kind of like his only connection to his past that he's going to get into. But as far as for the military, his role or his job is infantry or demolitions expert. So he is very smart, very capable. He grew up by the harbor, college harbor, and he talks in a Boston accent.
So you're
even
talking
though
like your dad.
my dad, yeah. So
Yeah. You're gonna
I
do
still
your
have to get back into being able to sound like that. I'll kind of butcher it here and there, but I will be probably listening to a lot of Matt Damon, uh, Goodwill
Yeah.
Hunting, and The Departed.
Yeah, watch The Departed on loop. Just
Yeah, it's my character's wicked smart. Kind of like he can invent things on the fly. He's was really brought up by his father being essentially a genius. His father is a genius, so he's kind of has a little bit of that blood in him. And so as far as what made me choose that kind of character, I think I really just wanted to blow some stuff up.
That's really nice.
I like spell casting, but I don't think I've ever played a full spellcaster. This is another half caster. So I'll be getting spells here and there, but they're going to be more along the lines of like tinkering and mechanics and using chemistry rather than so much to do with the straight magic. But yeah. And I'm also, being that I've blown a lot of stuff up, I also know a bit of how to heal and how to heal others, because I will probably blow some of you up.
Whoa.
By accident.
Whoa.
By accident.
Uh-huh.
We're ready with the team kill.
might happen. You don't know.
It can happen. Fire's tricky.
Fire is tricky. That should be a T-shirt.
Yeah, fire's tricky.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate it, man. All right, and now the better half, Miss Carla. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm
tell
super
us-
excited. I'm super excited. I miss you guys like a lot.
Yeah. It's been way too long. We need to not do that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you got going on with your character.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Carla, and I will be playing a character named Bree. She's a halfling rogue. So we have two rogues in the group. She grew up in the Round Down orphanage in the city of Stonewall, but she was actually raised in the back streets and those risky corners in the pier. What else? I do have an accent.
Oh,
I've been using it for a while, so I kind of like burst in it. And this is my second time playing a non-magical character. I usually go full spells. That is my thing. And I was actually playing a monk in Barney's campaign. And this is the second time that I'm gonna be doing something that is not as explosive.
very
Gonna be
cool.
more like sneaks.
That's another sneaky sneaker.
Yep.
So what is so you're a rogue as well, but you're going to be kind of veering off in another direction, right?
I'm gonna be a swashbuckler.
Very cool.
That's
Starting
gonna
level
happen.
3.
Level 3. Yeah. Yeah, level 3.
Well, that's funny that you bring that up because we're not.
I mean, if we made it that far.
If you make it that far, that's right.
Yeah.
Is it
Yes,
okay if I
and,
use the homebrew college of pirate? I want to be a pirate too. That sounds awesome.
Pirate bard.
Yeah, why not?
Everybody but Freddie starting off at level 10. He's level 1. I think it's fair. He was the DM last time. We can all in favor. We just need a majority of 5.
Oi.
And in the army, I was, I think, pretty obviously, I was a scout. So yeah, I think that that's pretty much it.
Very cool. All right, cool. Well, I think it's a wide variety of characters. So we have a rogue, an artificer, a barbarian, a bard, and then maybe at some point we'll have somebody else joining us. We'll see. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
I missed one thing. And going back to characters, Boot, what are you again? You're I know you're a rogue, but what type of
Drow,
You're a drow.
a dark elf.
A dark elf drow.
A Delph.
You're a delf.
Yeah.
You're a delf.
Drow.
I'd like to fantasy roleplay with. Is that what that
There we
means?
go. Yeah, there we go.
I'm pretty
Made it
sure
work.
that's what it means. I'll type it in and
Okay,
Google
this
it.
is R-rated.
Okay, so we're all going to be starting at level 1, obviously. So if you want to, let's go down the line. If you haven't rolled already, then let's get some roll on if you want to. Again, we can go down the line from top to bottom. I have Freddie. Freddie, did you want to keep your rolls or did you want to roll again?
I'm pretty happy with my rolls.
Okay. Tell us what you got. So we have the strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. What did you get in all that?
Do you want to know what the modifier is, or do you want to know what the number?
The number.
Okay. The number is for strength is 16. For dexterity, I have a 16. For constitution, it is 19.
So, whoa.
For intelligence, it's 11. For wisdom, it's 7. Not the wisest. And then charisma is 13.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. And you sure you want to keep that? I am role play heavy, but it's completely up to you on what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep.
I'm very happy with my character stats.
Cool.
Obviously, I wish he was a little bit wiser, but we'll work on it.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do with that.
I mean, you don't really need to improve much else. You just level 4, level 8. You just keep bumping up that wisdom and intelligence right there.
Boom, boom. Yeah. Go to college. Go to college. Yeah.
Good a call.
I hear there's a great college that is in the area of what's the name of it? Oh God, somewhere where the artificer goes. His father. I forget.
Oh, you talking about Gavin Gloom Foley? Oh, fuck, man. That's
Yeah, Gavin Glue Foley.
Yeah,
Foley.
somewhere in the harbor.
It's close to Worcester.
How many times are you going to say, how do you like them apples, Josh?
Oh, God.
How many times does he
His
say that in the
catchphrase.
movie a lot?
I think twice.
How do you like
right?
them apples?
Yeah,
In
I
the east,
like them apples.
in the east, there's really not many apple trees. Kind of
In the
sound like
east.
Batman. I realize my accent.
Yeah,
Batman.
you got like a Christian Bale thing going on.
Yeah,
Fuck.
now
I am fucking.
It's Ball.
I'm Batman. Shit.
Where's Wedding Beacon? All right, cool. All right. So we are using D&D Beyond. We are using Roll20. So if you have your points set up, then go ahead and then make your character sheet, make it go live. You all have the link. If you don't, I'll send it out again after the session. But go ahead and make your character sheet go live, Freddie, and then Roll20 also get onto there, and I'll assign you guys a token. All right, cool. Miss Carla, did you want to
Yeah.
re-roll any of your stats, or did you want to roll for stats?
I mean, it looks
need to
pretty
roll.
bad. Yeah, I think that I might because it's pretty it's really
Basic.
balanced. Yeah, it's super basic.
Okay. All right.
I
all
mean,
right.
I have +3 dexterity, +2 constitution, +1 intelligence, wisdom,
Just
and
roll,
charisma.
baby.
So
roll.
yeah, I think I'm going to.
All right. Cool.
do we roll the stat, or do you take the rolls and then assign them, or is it up to everybody?
It'll be up to the player. So you roll your 6 for your 6 stats, and then you choose where you want them to go. We won't go in order or anything like that.
All right.
True.
So
All right, Carla. So while you're rolling for yours, we'll do the honor system again. So roll for yours. I'm going to move on to Eric, and then when you're ready, come back and let's hear your stats. Okay.
all right.
What's up,
Sure.
Eric?
I just basically took the standard stat array, and so I did got 14 strength, 17 dex, 13 constitution, 12 intelligence, 8 wisdom. So Moth and I can both be unwise together. And
That spin-off.
11
Spin-off's looking good. Spin-off's looking real good.
What hijinks will they get into next? Find out on Moth and Boot. Sundays on CBS.
That's right. That's right. All right. All right. Cool. All right. Well, if you're happy, then I'm happy. I just want you to be happy
Fine.
with what you got, man. All right. Cool. All right. I have Mr. Barney up next. Barney, were you able to roll for your stats, or did you want to roll right now?
I have rolled. I will roll again just for funsies, but I do like these stats. I think they're going to make for an interesting play through.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you roll a 5? Is that
I rolled a 5. That was my first roll. It was a 3 and 3 ones.
Woo.
So right now, I've got 5 strength. I'm really, really strong.
You're a beast.
I've got 17 dex, 12 constitution, 14 intelligence, 9 wisdom, and 18 charisma.
Oh, there you go.
You're courageous.
I think
You should be a bard.
Yeah. All that
You should be a cat bard,
I just
multi-class and being a warlock too.
but that's
gonna
it.
act like a cat a lot too.
I think I'd prefer you be a cook.
A cat cook, a cat chef, cat pirate. I wanna
All
be a
right,
cat.
man.
Barney, is your mic down lower than everybody else's?
No, I just wasn't talking that close to it. Sorry.
I mean, I'm just hearing everyone so loudly compared to you.
How's this? Is this better?
That is better.
Barney, is that your token?
Where? What?
The cat.
Oh
that's in
shoot!
front-
Yeah.
That's Barney's avatar.
That's his avatar.
It's his miniature. It's his miniature, so whenever we play in person,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
much
I
better.
just throw her onto the board and whatever chaos she they have to roll for. Dexterity saving throw.
Very large. You're a very large creature.
All right, cool.
Dragon size.
All right, man. Oh, let me go back to Carla. It looks like she rolled her stats.
I do, but I did, but I think I'm going to. So, yeah, much better. 14, 12, 9, 14, 13, and 15.
Okay, all right. And then remind me, you're halfling, is that right?
Yes.
So you get racial bonuses as well, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Very cool. All right. Well, are you happy with your new roles, or do you want to revert back
yes.
to? Okay.
No, I'm not gonna tempt destiny.
End up with 6 5s.
Yeah. I mean,
All
my
right.
lowest is a 9, so
All right, cool.
not bad.
Well, let me come back over to Barney. That's not Barney. Hi.
Well,
Oh, I'm gonna keep mine. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I love it.
I was wondering because some of the most fun campaigns I've ever had were with like shitty rolls, just shit. Like it was one of those characters I was like, this character is gonna die, and they ended up being my favorite just because like you're like, oh hi. So yeah, I'm excited.
You to be,
I'm
using your
excited.
brain.
What?
I was gonna say it forces you to think outside the box, right? Like you're definitely not gonna be going and stabbing anybody.
Yeah.
All right. And boom. What's up, Josh? Uh-oh.
Your mic's
mic.
down.
Hey Josh, are you talking to
lower?
your mic? Are you lower than everybody else, or
testing.
okay?
There you go. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I didn't roll yet. What I did was just to kind of get an idea of what my stats might look like. I just did the point system on D&D Beyond, but I am going to roll because I think that is going to possibly yield better. Jesus. Sorry, Leo is playing with my dice tray.
Oh my god. Yeah, he is?
Yeah, he just almost knocked it over. So I lost one. I just dropped it when we first started. One of the other matching dice. So I'm hoping that the fates are actually turning these things into my favor.
All right.
So yeah.
All right.
So while you're just grabbing something else, I'll just go ahead and roll.
Yeah, so start rolling. Everybody else who rolled, or if you need to do any like final touches on your character, then this would be the time. I do want to kind of go down the line. I'm hoping that we save maybe about 20-30 minutes just to kind of jump into just a little bit of introduction, prologue, role-playing type thing, just to kind of set this tone. That way, when we start with session 1, we all know who each other are, and we can just get right down to the business to defeat the Hun. That was my Mulan joke for the day.
By the way, was not a fan of the live action Mulan. I thought it was absolute trash.
Really?
Awesome. Good to know.
Absolute trash.
So we just lost Disney as a sponsor. Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate it.
No. I mean, we do a lot of work with Warner Brothers, so I'm not really too concerned.
Oh man.
I'm
So while
serious.
everybody's kind of getting their character set, hopefully getting your D&D Beyond things set up, your Roll20s logged in, whatever you need to do in the moment. We'll go down the line one more time. I'll start with myself. So 3 basic questions that I have, and it's really just to kind of set the tone a little bit if we can. But one of the things that I love about RPGs. So what is one thing that you guys love about RPGs? For me, it is really just the getting together with people who are like-minded, who kind of dig the same stuff you dig, and then being able to build a world. I think that all of us are creative, and this is our chance to kind of be kids again in a sense. When like I mentioned at the top of the show that in the early 90s is when I started, and I was kind of at the point in my life I already had like 2 or 3 kids. I can't remember. And I thought my kid days were over, but then lo and behold, here are these adults who are playing games with toys, and I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I want to play this. So boom, over there. And to this day, the smell of Black and Mild brings me back to
The
to
Black
playing.
and Mild.
Yeah, it's good that one of the players, because I can, and these people I knew for a very short time in my lifespan, but I can remember there was a guy named, there were brothers, Thor and Odin, were their given names, Thor and Odin. We had Tom, who worked at Universal Studios. We had Cliff and Mariah, who got married while they met playing D&D, and they got married shortly after. So this was our group. This was my group for like that summer of like 98, 99, whatever it was. But
Summer of 99.
yeah. But all of that was because of D&D, and that's probably why I like tabletop games. Second question, what are you most excited about? The combat, the exploration, the puzzles, the role-playing? For me, with Dungeons & Dragons role-playing, it really is the role-playing for me. I dig combat. I get antsy, and I want to fight things, and I want to be a murder hobo. But I really, really dig the role-playing. Really like that. Maybe that's the actor in me. The thespian coming out. I don't know.
Acting.
And then as far as strength, so what do I bring to the group? As far as DM, I hope I don't let you guys down. It has been a couple decades since I've done this, but I do try to be as fair as I can and just be hands off as I can. Really just be the back seat, the window view looking into y'all's world more than trying to take over y'all's world. So if anything, that's what I hope I bring to the table. We'll leave Josh for last because he is rolling and hopefully getting things set up, but I will start with Freddie. So Freddie, your 3 questions were, why do you love, why do you play D&D? What do you love about it?
All right, so why D&D? So a couple reasons. When I was a kid, I used to play with my friend Tom. We used to play this thing called World, where he'd come over, I'd go over to his house, and we would have this running game that lasted for probably 2-3 years with toys. When I was literally probably 6, 7, 8 years old, maybe a little younger. And we would literally keep a journal of all the adventures our toys went on and these giant wars and battles that we were having in our basements and his house, my house, and we'd combine our toys and have these. So that was like when I was a kid. It was almost like we were playing D&D back then, but we didn't have stat blocks. We were just playing. And as I got older, you kind of lose touch of your creative side, if you will. Life happens, jobs, girlfriends, partying, whatever. And when John and I started writing comic books together, kind of tapped back into that creative side. And D&D for me is a place to escape. It's a place to mentally just let when I just kind of get away for a while. And I've transitioned in my life from going out and partying and going to bars and clubs and all this stuff to getting together with like-minded people, like-minded friends, sitting around a table and going on an adventure and writing a story together and just getting lost together. That's to me what it's all about. And I find a lot more joy in and much more so when we were, obviously, and we'll get there again, getting in person and hanging out. It's almost like a party every time we get together. So I do miss getting together in person a lot, and I look forward to it. But it's good to get together with friends and just kind of we're going on an adventure.
Going on an adventure.
Very cool. All right. And what are you excited about in D&D? Is it the combat, the exploring, the puzzles, the role playing? What is it that you like the most?
So what excites me the most? So I've been a DM now for the last essentially 6 months, and I'm very much excited to be a player again. And it alleviates a lot of the burden in terms of. Yeah, the stress is I feel this giant weight came off my shoulders, and I'm very much excited to dive in and just have fun and to really stay in character and role play. Battling is going to be fun. I've created a character that's going to smash a lot of people, so I'm excited about that. Also alleviates a lot of the stress where it's just come in, smash, and do the deed. But I'm very much looking forward to role playing, diving into my character, and really diving into other people's characters and getting to know them and staying in character. I'm looking forward to and just being myself.
Very cool. You're going to get tired of me saying, "Okay, Freddie, roll for a wisdom saving throw."
The last
Roll perception.
Yeah. I don't see anything. You're facing a wall, Ma. And then once
Pretty lights.
I'm intelligent. I just wanted to clarify. I am intelligent. I'm just not wise.
Yeah,
So I'm not a great planner in the moment, I would say. But in terms of thinking and I'm pretty smart.
All right, cool. All right. And then one strength that you bring to this group that we have.
As a player or as my character?
As a player.
Okay, so as a player, I think I've matured a lot in the D&D sense, especially from being a DM for the last, like I said, 6 months, and then before that we were doing the Descent into Avernus for like a month. So I think I've learned a great deal from that experience, and I think what I'll add to the group in terms of strength is just staying on track and being kind of goes into what I was saying before, just staying in character and really living the 2 hours that we have together in this world and not breaking character and kind of being that anchor for the group.
Very cool. All right. Well, thanks for sharing, man. All right, we're going to go over to Josh and Dog.
Yay!
Oh,
This is Liamond.
yes.
Hello. Oh.
No, that's not nice. So
All right, Josh. The same 3 questions for you. What do you love about?
should I start with the roles? Because that's what's on my mind right now.
Sure. Let's start with the roles for you, Josh.
So I'm hoping that you will be lenient on me because I rolled a 6
Hell
a
yeah, welcome.
13, a 13, a 16, a 7, and a 12.
Ooh, that's a very interesting character you have there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It is 2 very low stats.
Yeah. I did tell Barney the same thing, that in a lot of games I've done before, that I've had a cap, and that 8 was the lowest that you could do, and that was it was clearly, it's up to the player on whether they want to do that. And honestly, my kids choose that more than anybody else. But
I'll
Barney,
be your kid.
you want to be my son? I do have a
Yeah.
sign in the background that says my favorite people call me
Are there
daddy.
spots
So-
open?
Are you hiring for child?
Yeah.
So if you want to take advantage of that, anybody who rolled less than an 8 can. But
So
it-
basically just bumping it up to an 8.
Yeah, that would be my yeah, and that would be okay with me. That'd be okay.
I'd be much more okay with that. I'd rather a net like minus. Wait, is that -2, or is that
Minus
-1?
one, right?
I think it's a minus.
It's -1.
8 is a -1
Mhm.
because that 10 is. Wait, 8 -1.
Yeah.
My wisdom
okay.
is now 8.
Shocking that you took that, my son.
It is -1.
Thanks, Daddy.
Okay, that's weirder when you say it. but-
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing your character sheet. That'll be cool. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
This the D&D Beyond actually has a roll. I didn't know this, but you can actually roll straight from the website on all 6 of your stats.
Mhm.
And I got way better with that, but I believe that rolling from real dice.
It's
Way to go.
better.
I do want to say one thing, because of my character bonus in regards to my position in the army. My wisdom insight is +1.
Ooh,
Oh, look at you. All right.
wait.
You min-maxing bastard.
And I'm the most strong thing ever. So there's that. Josh, I'm gonna give you a chance to kind of look at your character. I'm gonna go to someone else. Okay.
How do you have an insight +1?
Because my 8 just brought me up to it was -1, and then you get +2 for proficiency. So I'm +1.
Okay.
Whenever y'all put y'all's things on D&D Beyond, I usually review them because and we'll go over there if there's any discrepancies. But
Yeah.
D&D Beyond is pretty good about not having.
And I know all the languages.
I don't.
Translate. All right, Eric. Hi.
Hey.
So
So-
Josh was busy petting his dog and talking to Freddie about his low wisdom. So I did want to ask you though, what do you love about D&D, or do you love D&D? Do you care one way or the other?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got into it like the first D&D session I played was in college. Just a bunch of guys from the honors program that I was in, so we were already kind of nerdy. But it was great. Just yeah, I mean everybody was like pretty personable and like had like was able to think on their feet, so it really got me like a good first experience of like a bunch of people who had all like only one of us had played D&D before, so it was kind of fun because we were all figuring out on the fly, and it really just kind of excited in me like the the spirit, because it's like I did a lot of improv and theater when I was in college and younger, and it kind of brought the best parts about that as well as like being creative and forging a story together and like all these things that are just like I don't know, just fun,
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's like I don't know, one of my favorite parts is like the kind of working out. You like create like little like storylines where you're like, hey, remember that one time where you like randomly barged into that baker's hut and blah 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 blah, and like you have this whole thing that comes out from it.
Yeah.
That's definitely the parts where you're like, oh yeah, like I still have like those friends where it's like we talk about kind of things that had happened in sessions. And,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. All right, cool. Next question. What do you like the most? Is it the combat, the exploration, the puzzles, the role playing? I think you touched on the role playing a little bit, but what is it you do?
Yeah, the role play I think is my favorite part, just because like I don't know. That's like where kind of the fun happens. Like I like the combat because I'm like a pretty competitive person already, you know, and I like trying to maximize and cause a bunch of damage and kill things in really cool ways. But definitely the role play and like bouncing off of characters or kind of finding like unique ways around situations and stuff like that. Like problem solving is also up there with like, you know, when mysteries happen and whatnot.
Very cool. All right. All right.
Mhm.
How old were you when you started college?
Yeah, I was sound like 20.
Wow. Okay. And look at you now, 45, and you don't look safe.
Oh, dude. My many years of playing D&D, I've learned a few things.
All right. And then as a player, as you as the player, what is your strength that you bring to this group?
Yeah, I think I have like a pretty good sense of like who my characters are, who I create, and like doing like a pretty decent job of bouncing off of players while also kind of driving down a story. Like I like, you know, the kind of when you get sidetracked, but I also kind of like, you know, keeping people like the group on track with certain things. And so I think that I do a decent job with like helping us kind of all get to a main goal that everybody wants to get to, right? Keeps everybody involved. But also humor. I think that that's one of my favorite things to bring to a session is just, you know, bringing out kind of like making funny jokes and stuff like that. So
I am going to miss you like screaming out the "Bring out the Hogan Cannon!"
Cannon. Yeah, that's fun. We'll find new things.
We'll find you. Yeah. All right, man. I'm going to move over to this young man. Hey, Barty.
Hi.
Hi. Same questions for you, sir. I know that you love D&D, or at least role play games. So tell me why. Why do you love it?
I've always been in performance in college, and even before then, I've always been on a stage since I can remember. I used to do magic shows for the county of Santa Cruz. Every year at this beach, there was like a stage where I would do a magic show with my sister, and there would be little fireworks in the background. So I'm always I'm actually excited to be playing a bard. I think I can play to a few of my strengths in this one. But yeah, I mean, I love D&D. I love getting creative. I love being able to, you know, try to creatively problem solve, as Eric mentioned there. There's critical thinking aspects, which are super fun as well, alongside with, you know, just busting up a den of thieves every now and again, you know?
Yeah. No, it's there's nothing like D&D. There really isn't. I don't know. People who don't get it are like, "Ew, what, you play D&D?"
Yeah.
I
It was very inclusive for me too when I started. I started with a group of friends in like high school, and then I found it again in college because some people were like, "Hey, do you want to try this?" And I was like, "Of course I want to try this."
You have chosen correctly.
Yeah. So it's been
All right.
Yeah. It's been a constant through my life.
Okay. All right.
And I just love the feeling too of, you know, being able to be a half orc barbarian and go stomp on some enemies, or be a spell slinging bard and a 7-foot cat man, you know.
Cat man. All right. And same questions for you. Like the combat, the exploration, the puzzles, the role play. Out of all that, what are you drawn to the most?
I'm excited to just explore this world. Just yeah. Mostly, I think it's going to be interesting with this character because his goal is not going to be combat. It's going to be trying to either talk his way out of it or just be at the back. He's a little bit of a coward, but you know, it'll be interesting. Yeah, so it'll be fun to think up like creative ways of like why or how or where he should be during combat.
No, that'll be fun. It'll be cool. I'm excited to see your player or your character. And then the strength that you bring to the group.
Yeah, well, I hope to be providing everybody with some scenarios where we're all like critically thinking on it, be it a positive or a negative thing. You know, a little bit of well, not chaos, but what's the word for it? It's like, oh, what surprise. I think
Wild
not
card.
Wild card.
I don't want to be the wild card. I'm kind of hoping to take a little bit of the back seat, but I think in terms of performance, I'm just going to be. It's a very flamboyant character in which I put together.
All right. Any way we can talk you into like dressing up like a cat every episode?
Probably not.
Whiskers.
Can we get you some ears for Christmas?
You could get me whatever you want for Christmas.
Are you going to do it?
How it works.
We need to go on Amazon and find him like a cat onesie, just to like.
Yes. Let's do that.
I hear those are very expensive.
On that note, I will
If you
not be
wear it,
dressing
it'll
up
be worth it.
Drow.
Dude,
Yeah, a scandal in the future.
All right. Well, cool.
yeah.
Thank you very much, Barney. I appreciate it.
Oh.
And then Carla, look at you. Did you look at you? You look wonderful. Did you put on something
did.
different since last time you were on the screen? Okay.
I did.
Same questions for you. Same questions for you. What do you love D&D, and if so, why do you love it?
I do, and for me, it was a different experience. I started with D&D in a really dark moment. I was heavily depressed. I was going through horrible times, and luckily, my best friend and her now husband had a group of friends who were like-minded, and invited me over. So the thing was that for those who doesn't know, I'm from Mexico, and Mexico country is a highly conservative country, and whenever you do something that is not considered mainstream, you are a weirdo, right? So I am a weirdo. I am, and then I found myself with this like-minded, weird, strange, and highly creative people playing this game, rolling dice, and I found my niche. And to me, having this weekly 8-hour sessions, destroying monsters and exploring towns and having like ships and drinking Pepsi was incredible. So for me, it was just a kind of like a therapy method to come out of a really dark place, and also to find and accept a part of me that I didn't before.
Mm-hmm.
Because come in terms that you're a super nerd and all of that. Back in the day, it was different.
Yeah.
I think that I can speak for everybody now, right? Like there are certain things that of your nerdiness that you hide back in the day, because now it's openly accepted that you, for example, play D&D, or you like something as mainstream as Marvel comics. But I don't know, like 15 years ago, that was like, what? Of course not. Like, what do you mean? You don't do that. You don't play with dice and little miniatures. You don't do that. But yeah, when I started, we were playing with tokens, with bottle caps. Those were things. Or grids were just hand drawn, like in the moment. And it was just so organically and so creative and so immersive. It was incredible. So I totally fell in love with it. And when Josh and I started dating, actually, and all of you guys, this story. When on the first date, we actually were like trying to out nerd each other, and it came to a moment that he said like, well, I'm nerdier than you because I write comic books. And I said, well, I am nerdier because I play D&D. And he was like, oh, okay, so you win.
You win, nerd.
Win. And after that,
I don't go that far.
Yeah. And now, when we started dating and we started going to all these conventions, we started seeing all this, like dice and stuff. We were like courting each other through, miniatures and books and stuff like that. And D&D is part of our relationship and part of, the life that I have now. I mean, we name our dog Leomund because of, Leomund's tiny hat. So of course I love D&D and I love everything that it has brought into my life. You guys included, because with you guys in another country, I found a new family, and I found this group that I feel so much part of, and I feel, that I belong. And so helped me with anxiety and public speaking. With you guys, it was the first time that I started DMing, so it helped me through, everything. So D&D is just a part of life now, and I absolutely adore it so much.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. I really like that. All right. Well, with that being said, the combat, the exploration, the puzzles, the role play, what is it that you enjoy the most out of all that?
I guess it depends on the day. Sometimes I just want to destroy things, and sometimes I feel like there are things that has to be done during the game, and we need to role play, and I love those moments.
Yeah,
I love when you get to explore your friends, like pick their mind and see what what is happening with their character. I love that as well.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Well, thank you very much. I have one more question for you, and that is, what kind of strengths do you bring to this group?
I think that I am maybe a testosterone buffer. Maybe I'm controlling and I am in control of the dick jokes. So I think that I do that, and I think comedy and I think that through my characters I kind of force a little bit of role play in the other characters. I tend to do that. Story in advance, guys. You should know that I tend to do that. And destroy. I also like to burn things. So maybe that's why I didn't choose a magic user this time, because I tend to fire things up.
Burn up the entire world. All right.
Yeah.
Fun times. That says a lot about you. Poor Josh. All right. Just teasing. All right. We actually, I was in a campaign once where we would set kind of like Pee-wee's Playhouse, where we would set like a word, like the word of the day, and we had to somehow come up with like sexual innuendos for that word throughout the campaign, and whoever got the most got a bonus or something. But yeah, that's fun time, and that's the beauty of D&D. You can make it whatever you want. So. All right, Sir Josh, did you get your stats set up and everything?
Yeah, it took me a little bit to kind of rearrange and finagle.
Okay.
But I did figure it out. So I'm a tiny guy. I'm small, so I'm gonna do a -1 to my strength. I actually put my highest stat in dexterity. So I have +3 dexterity with a 16 score, so that way I kind of don't need to touch that for a long time. Constitution is +2. My intelligence is +2. My intelligence, you would normally, because I am a spellcaster and I do use a lot of intelligence for things. I would normally want that one to be the highest, but the way I rolled, I feel like it makes more sense that I would do that as 15 as a +2, and then I can just increase it at level 4. Take a feat that may increase by 1 intelligence or so. So I felt like that made more sense. Wisdom is -1, and charisma is +1.
You and I are as wise as one another.
Yeah, we're not going to perceive much.
You can.
We're a bunch of we're a bunch of wise guys. Yeah.
Wise guys, eh?
The wise guys.
The not so wise guys. It'll be another spinoff.
There you go.
The wise guys, eh?
Not
All right,
so
cool.
wise guys.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see all y'all's character sheets. It'll be cool. It'll be cool to see what this party is actually going to look like on paper.
It's a party.
Yeah. So, same questions for you, Josh. Do you love D&D? Why do you or why do you not?
I definitely love D&D. It's become one of those infatuations or addictions. So since Carla and I met, as she mentions, we had Carla as our DM. It was me, Fred, and then later Terry, you joined, and Barney joined. So we, but for Fred and I, it was our first times playing D&D, and it was something that we grew into just enjoying and go because we went to not festivals, but we went to cons all the time, and then Carla actually brought me to see Critical Role at a live panel in San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like, oh wow, I really was interested in the group dynamic in there, how everyone, like the community surrounded that group, and everyone seemed to be very caring, loving, inclusive. And so it was very interesting. It was very easy to get people into it. It was kind of like almost religious, spiritual in a way, right? Because you kind of get into a group and you're like, wow, I never thought this group would be so great, and until you actually see it. So, but I feel like this was even better than religion. So since then, Carla and I have probably tithed all of our into D&D. So 10% of all of our paychecks go to D&D miniatures and terrain and other features. I have like so many things coming in the mail from Kickstarters. So yeah, I can say that I love D&D, and I love playing with you guys. You guys are, why it's so fun is that everyone here is such great players, and there's a lot of give and take that go on with this group.
Yeah, very cool. All right.
Mostly giving.
Go with Vecna. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So what are you most excited about in that whole experience that you just described? The combat, the exploring, puzzles, role playing. What is it?
I'm definitely excited about the exploring because it's Terry. You look like you put in a lot of work into this campaign, and it's great thing is that it's already been kind of test played with your kids. So I know that you've kind of been able to fine tune over time, and I'm interested in seeing where we can take this and explore in this sandbox type world. I'd say like the role playing RPG is the biggest attractiveness to me. Being able to have those interactions between characters, those one-on-ones, those are always, I think, part of the when I come out of a game after we end, I'm usually thinking and talking about the conversations that were had, the actions that were made that are part of your character, not so much like, I mean, I can kill someone or like decapitate an enemy, but it does not have the same effect as, the meaning behind what you're doing in actions.
Yeah. Cool. All right. You put a lot of thought into this.
I'm speaking on the fly right now. Actually,
this is the benefit of going last. You're like, you know what? Let me speak deep on this one second.
How can I one up what everybody said?
Is that what happened?
No.
I'll be honest.
You guys, you are the
I-
magic.
I blacked out whenever everybody else was talking. Sorry. I swear I'll be better during the game.
I muted you all. I didn't care what y'all had to say. But all right, last question, Josh. What strength do you specifically as a player bring to this group?
This is where I don't have an answer prepared. As far as strengths, I think that my drive for knowledge in the game. So I usually want to research and really have a lot of knowledge into where we're going, what's happening, interpretations of what to do next, and it may even be something that might be a negative too sometimes.
Okay.
My biggest strength in mine is also sometimes a negative, just because I am pretty headstrong in my ideas.
You got passion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why are you guys like commenting in the private chat with penises?
I wouldn't take it personal. Don't personalize the penises.
There's penises in our private chat. They weren't there before I started talking.
It was strictly
That's the
for you.
group's strength and also their biggest
Hey,
weakness.
hey guys, you know what? You know what? You are what you type.
That's right.
You
How do
are
you
what
like
you type.
them apples,
You
Eric?
suck at it.
How do you like them apples?
You like apples, huh? Well,
I would like to point out that it was your wife who also typed a penis. So
Josh,
you just called her a dick.
I typed a large.
She is what she types.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for humoring me.
That's going to be
Hopefully that gave you guys a chance to. And I would again. It looks like you guys finished Josh's character because we have, like Josh said, lots of dicks in the chat. So, but hopefully that gave you guys a chance to. If you didn't know a little something about each and every one of us, and hopefully you know a little bit more now. But so I wanted to dive in a little bit more into just the characters that we have right now. Or the sheets. So as a character, generating the stats. Hopefully by this time you guys have lined up where you want your roles, where you want your stats, and your page should be golden at this point. If you need any, I wouldn't say help because you guys are all pros, but if you need any guidance as far as like in this world of prosperity or on this island of prosperity, what would I know? What would, if I come from Stonewall, what would this benefit me more than the other? That kind of thing. I'm completely fair game with the letting you know the specifics of where you come from and what you would know. And I do plan on sending out more. A couple people have already sent, if I can get to it, a little character profile. So the way that I generate my things, I have, because I'm old school, I guess, I don't know. I have a combination of online stuff, and then I have like a little binder that I go through. Each one of you guys have your own section. So you have when I get it, you'll have your character sheet. And then right next to it, you'll have your character profile that I sent to you guys. It'll also have more stuff on my end, like your the weapons you use, what is the hit bonus, what is the attack bonus, all that kind of stuff. So that way at a glance, I can look at either page, get that information, and give you an answer as quick as possible. On the cheat sheet that I sent you guys, it has your character name, your player name, your race, your class, anything that's unique or homebrew to this scenario. In this case, it's your rank. So each and every one of you had a choice to choose. You had officer, scout, I think cook, translator, and a couple other options. Looking or thinking back, I don't think anybody duplicated. I think you all were individualized your own thing, which is really cool. But there were bonuses that went along with those. If you haven't picked a rank yet, go ahead and pick a rank. There are bonuses, like I said, and then just let me know if you need any help with any of that. The hometown where you came from. So I've been asking you guys a lot of questions off the cuff, and some of you guys are like, "My God, what this dude's out of his fucking mind." And maybe I don't know, but so I've given you guys all a hometown, or you've given yourself a hometown. And it'll be up to you guys to divulge that in game. Whatever we've said of our backstory today, it'll be a clean slate once we start. So feel free to describe yourself away once we start into the role-playing aspect of things. The motivation and the goals, some of you guys already gave me information on like what you would like to do in this world, like different things, different missions that maybe you would love to be able to take part in. I put that into your character profile as well, and hopefully if y'all lead yourself down that road, then that'll happen. If y'all stay away from these areas, then maybe that won't happen. I don't know, but like I said, it's a sandbox, so it's your world to discover. The signature traits, characteristics, anything from a tattoo that you have to a tick that you have to being a compulsive liar to having an oral fixation with a match, whatever the case may be, that is your signature trait. That's your characteristic. That is something that I can know. That way, later in the game, I can say, well, this guy recognizes you, or he approaches you and says, hey, you're this guy who does XXX, or do you still have that tattoo? Whatever the case may be, just to add more depth to your character so that you're not just playing in this world, but that you're part of this world. The known NPCs. So every single one of you are getting a list of NPCs that you already know from your hometown or from whatever. And again, it's going to be one of those scenarios where if you take that path to cross paths with that NPC, then you'll meet up with that NPC. But I won't just throw them in front of you for no obvious reason. And then background. So your background, again, is all the information you give me. The more information you give me, the more I can put into the world to benefit your character and benefit your enjoyment of it. Like Carla said, sometimes you just want to blow shit up and you don't care. Mainframe Comic Con presents, Nat One Network presents Whispers and Echoes. Session 0. It is a dark time on the island of prosperity. Long a symbol of hope and freedom, the island nation of prosperity existed in harmony by remaining hidden among the chaos that is the Forgotten Realm. It was through this self-exile that prosperity achieved the dream of peace, with every race treating each other as equals. That dream began to fade with the death of the nation's beloved king, Baran. With his passing, the ruling class of prosperity slowly devolved into a corrupt hive of greed and mistrust. It is now a nation divided. Rumors of uprising spread like wildfire through the countryside and along the back streets of every major city. In response, the newly appointed ruler, King Danel, has ordered curfews, rationing of goods, and strict martial law. This action by King Danel has been swift, unforgiving, and met by a growing opposition in the northern districts of prosperity. To regain absolute control, King Danel intensified his resolve. His orders, widely known as the Word, evolved into a campaign of terror against his own people. The king unleashed the might of the Word through whisper and by echo. The Whisper are widely feared warriors that operate in secret. They carry out the Word with lethal finality and answer only to the king. The Echo play a dual role as protectors of prosperity and defenders of the Word. They number in the tens of thousands. They are soldiers, mercenaries, pirates, warriors, patriots, and adventurers. If rebellion were a stone, the Echo are the king's mighty hammer. Together, the Whisper and the Echo act as an unstoppable wave, advancing the Word across the land. The scales have been set, and the people collectively hold their breath in anticipation of the inevitable grain of sand that will tip the balance of power towards rebellion, towards all-out war, or perhaps towards something much more sinister. Enter Stonewall. The fortified city of Stonewall is a symbolic and literal epicenter of prosperity. Tensions are palpable, as Mayor Benjamin Rourke openly defies the Word, and with it King Danel. In what has now become a foreboding sign of things to come, King Danel has dispatched a small band of Echo warriors to pave the way for the Word. Church bells begin to toll as the sun rises over Stonewall. The air holds eerily still as the ominous rumble of approaching footsteps echo off the stone buildings. They are your footsteps. You are the echo. And see. So that is the prologue. That is the beginning of y'all's journey. But before we get to the prologue, there's a prologue to the prologue.
Oh,
We're going to end our session 0 tonight by doing just a little bit of role play, just to kind of set the scene, set the zazz, because I watched The Prom last night on Netflix and it was really good. And
Shout
we're
out
just
to The Prom.
The Prom. What? So let me switch to that.
To The Prom.
To The Prom, yeah, because it was really good. Here's the trailer, guys. You're gonna... All right. So prologue to the prologue. You are in White Cross. White Cross is the training ground for the Echo. You are all Echo soldiers. You've lived together for the last year or so, coming from every stretch of prosperity, whether willingly or being drafted. You've come to White Cross to join the Echo, to enforce the law, to push the word. The general feel at White Cross is one of patriotism, one of righteousness. Every soldier there either believes wholeheartedly in what King Danel is doing and wish for peace across the land at any cost. Some soldiers less than others. Usually the ones that are drafted. They're there because they had nowhere else to go. Or they felt they had nowhere else to go. Whatever the reason, maybe they're not as in it to win it as the other ones are. You guys find yourself in a chapel. It is wooden. There's one entrance. Big arched wooden doors. 2 Echo soldiers are standing guard there. Each one of you, even though you've been there a year, even though you've been on many, many raids to orc encampments, to goblin mining facilities, you're still cadets. You're still in training. If there was a totem pole, you are at the bottom of it. You've all been called to this temple, this hall of worship, to receive orders. You know that you're to be sent out somewhere, but at this point you do not know exactly what that's going to be. You look around and you see the 5 companions. You know each other by name. You know each other just by looking at each other, but you don't know each other's true intentions. You don't know your backstories. You don't know who each other are. The last person that entered the room was this hulking half-orc. Arms too big for sleeves. They're cut off. You notice that he's got these piercings on his eye, lip, ears. Very intimidating looking guy. He's the last one to come in, but he is the first one to speak.
Finally, I believe we're gonna get out of this place. And maybe I'll finally be made captain. Boot. What the hell are you doing here?
I'd like to know that myself. I've been asked, been tapped on the shoulder and brought to this chapel, but I'm wondering what's going on.
Why, you seem a little bit skittish. Are you ready to roll out? I think that's what we're about to get out of here and squash some of this uprising, I would hope.
Is that what we're doing? We're actually going out and getting into the fight?
Well, that's why I think we're all here. What about you, Cascola? I know you're a cook. Maybe you'll
I
make
do
me...
not fight. And my name is Cascola Leonel. And I cast Prestidigitation to make like a little bit of Spanish guitar go off in the background, like as I say my name.
You know where
But my
where I'm
friends
from.
call me Cask.
What can I call you, Cola?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to some warm meals.
Yes, I'm not much of a fighter, but I will have your back in the linguistics department. I was actually I was apprenticed to the master translator as well as the chef.
As he's talking, I'm going to walk over to Bree and kind of look down at her.
You sure you're up for this?
Are you a captain?
Well, cadet, captain, cadet, but hopeful.
Okay.
I'm going to go, as she says, yes, I am. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to sit down. There's pews inside the church?
Yeah, so this is the basic setup. It's what you would call nowadays, I guess, a non-denominational temple. Knowing that we need every able-bodied being, we've gone to recruiting the best of the best from every race. So, yeah, there's pews, there's a stage, it has a podium, and like I said, one door with a big archway.
I'm gonna go lay down on one of the pews with my hands behind my back, and I'm gonna say to the group,
Well, pray to whatever gods you believe in. I think we're gonna roll out soon, so.
and then just kind of close my eyes.
I'll walk to the top of the podium and put my hands on it, or my paws on the podium, and just look out across the pew, see what it looks like from this point of view.
Now, is it just the 5 of us in here?
So
2 guards at the door.
yeah, right now it's the 5 of you guys, and the only other people you see right now are the 2 guards that are standing at the door.
Why do you think they brought us this pack of whatever you want to call it? This is not really the best group that I'd put together.
I'm sorry, no. Are you talking to me, or are you talking to...
Well, I mean, what sort of mission are you gonna put, a halfling, a drow, a cat, and
A chef.
It's Kellen, right?
Kellen?
Kellen. Well, I think we all have a role in this military, and I think we're just chosen to come together for something.
Well, that just...
To be
Whatever.
honest, I think
I'm just
I
gonna
think
sit.
Dylan's right. I wouldn't choose all of you for nothing. I've no idea why they brought us all here.
We'll do what we're told.
Yeah, you do, don't you? You just take your orders and you just say, yes, sir. Take me more. Give me more orders, please, sir. I like to think for myself.
You look like a scaly manfish.
Well, that's just personal.
Oh,
check out your mangina.
We are to go to Stonewall. Yes, is that's what our orders are, cadet in training, officer, half orc?
and captain. Semi-captain.
Well, we're obviously, we've been in White Cross for some time now. Probably be venturing out. I've heard rumors that we might be heading up north, but guess we'll have to wait and see.
So as Moth is talking, you don't have to roll for this because you can hear it pretty clearly. But there's a booming voice coming from behind the doors. You can't really make out what he's saying, but you can tell it's a male. You can tell it's gruff, and you can tell he's not happy. The 2 guards kind of look at each other. One is a halfling, one is a human. The halfling looks over at you guys, and Lionel, you're still, or Cask, you're still on the stage. Is that right?
Yes, I'm just kind of leaning on the podium.
Okay. And the halfling looks at you, and he's like, "Mate, you should probably step down from the stage. The captain's not going to like that very much."
Apologies. I cast prestidigitation to have like a little captain's badge right there for just a moment.
Okay.
And then I step off the stage.
Okay. So the booming voice is still going on as you guys are talking.
Oi. Shh. silence. I'm gonna walk, try to listen.
And the first roll of the night is going to go to you.
Yay!
Do me a favor and roll for perception on the two guards, the half elf and the human.
Okay.
Wait, the guards are half. Oh, sorry. I thought you said they were both halflings for a second.
One is
So
sorry,
half elf.
maybe I misspoke. One is sorry, no, one is a halfling, one is a human. Yeah, I might have misspoke.
Okay. Plus perception, right?
Yeah.
So that's 18.
Okay. All right. So as you get closer, you notice that they have brand new armor on. Everybody in the Echo Army, the one thing that they do pride themselves on is their presentation. Spick and span, spotless uniforms, including yourselves. All black, white trim. That is the uniform of the Echo. What you notice that maybe you wouldn't have noticed if you didn't look closer were how hungry, how emaciated these two guards are starting to look. The bags under their eyes, the knuckles are dry, fingernails are really little chewed down from them eating them. They don't look very good, these two guards. You also notice that even though you took for granted that you knew everybody else in this room, this is the first time that you've seen these two guards. And that's what you notice.
Okay.
As Bree starts to approach the door, the booming voice gets louder. And before you are able to reach the door, Bree, the two doors burst open. The halfling and the human, they burst open. You're standing right in front of this 6'6" half orc, green, long teeth. One of his teeth are actually pierced. So the tooth on the right is pierced with a gold hoop coming down. You recognize him. No one else in the room does. And he walks straight past you. Do me a favor, little one. Get out of my way.
I move.
He makes a beeline for the stage. Cask, you're no longer on the stage. Is that right?
I take a step off.
He's a superior officer, right?
Yeah.
You notice that
So- So I think that we would all kind of like line up in attention, right?
It's
I
slowly-
know I would.
Officer on deck.
So you know that as a member of the Echo, even though you've only been there a year, and for whatever reason that you did join, you know that there's protocol in the Echo Army.
What's our like moniker? What do we like? Echo.
Just standing at attention, and then a deck, and then a deck. So if you're going to do anything other than what it would be normal protocol, just tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you're doing the normal protocol for when a superior or whatever. Okay.
I'm gonna be the slowest to get into line, but reluctantly.
Okay. As he walks past, he doesn't really make eye contact with any of you. You do see that he is holding papers, crumpled up, some torn, but they're papers nonetheless. You recognize them as being orders, but you don't see exactly what the orders are. As he passes you, Cask, he doesn't look at you, but he does see that there is something on your chest that doesn't belong there.
Oh shoot!
with
Commanding officer.
With his huge sausage-like finger, he pokes you in the chest next to it, and he says, "Tell me, kitty cat, where did that come from?"
Oh, I wave my tail and it just flicks away. And I say, "Apologies, officer. My mates and I were just having some fun."
Do you have dreams of becoming a captain? Is that what you're doing?
Under Nula's eyes, anything is possible.
Make sure it's not something that's possible in front of me. You understand me?
Understood, sir.
And he keeps walking.
I try
Still
to
no
tickle his butt. No, I'm kidding.
Do you?
No.
He walks up to the podium. Your general guess would be that he is not a fan of what orders he just received. But he begins to speak to you guys nonetheless. All right, so it looks like I've been assigned to lead you guys on a bit of a mission. You guys have all been considered to be the best of the best. Either that or highly expendable. Choose whichever you like. But it seems as though, 1 second, Cadet, it seems as though you will be accompanying me to Stonewall tomorrow morning. There is an ambassador that has gone missing in the city of Stonewall, and I don't have the rightly trained men to come with me to introduce the word among the streets. So I have the pleasure of training you. Is that understood?
Yes, Captain.
Yes, sir. What? Yes, Captain.
I have intel that one of you are actually from this slimeball city called Stonewall. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You, my little friend, will be our guide. The rest of you, we were all on equal playing field as we go. We will find this ambassador, get out of that city as quickly as we can. I'm sure you've all heard that there is rumblings of riots in the streets, and Stonewall is not welcoming us. We are going there against their will. So be prepared for anything. Yes, go ahead.
Sir, will we need disguises of some kind? We're not going in as soldiers, right?
I am going to assume that I did not hear you correctly in saying that you would cover up your Echo uniform. Am I? The uniform that King Danel gave us all, you would cover up. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, no disrespect, sir.
It sounded very disrespectful, sir.
I'm
first day of the campaign.
I'm going to kind of grunt and be like, I think what he was trying to say, sir, is he didn't want an opportunity for somebody to ruin the uniform that he is wearing because of the disgruntled individuals in Stonewall, and he wants to proudly keep his uniform intact.
Thank you, but I can speak for myself.
I think what he is trying to say is that he wanted blood and dirt to not mingle with the fine material.
Well, I was trying to help it. You are most undoubtedly on your own.
Well, I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is that when we get there, we're to find this ambassador. And if we are going as soldiers, it's not likely that anybody there is going to want to talk to us.
Why not?
Because they're not friendly to.
We're soldiers. Everyone wants to talk to us.
What is your name, Halfling?
Kellen,
no,
sir.
No, I'm sorry. No, I apologize.
I appreciate the correction.
Kellen, I will tell you this once. I have superior officers. You have superior officers. I do what my superior officers tell me, and you will do the same. We are going to Stonewall as the Echo. We do not go dressed as commoners. We are not commoners. We are above that. We have taken that oath. We will go in there. We will deliver the word as Echo.
Yes, sir. Again, I mean no disrespect.
Sounded very disrespectful.
He's got a 16 in brown nosing as well.
I think I know how he became the officer in
I won't keep you too much longer because you all need your beauty sleep, just like I.
Yes,
We leave in 3 hours from now. That will get us there at sunrise. It is a long wagon trip.
Captain, I have a quick question for you. I've not had the honor of serving under you before. Your name?
My name. You haven't heard of me? You don't know me by sight. My name is Captain Ruby Jewel. Ruby. R-U-B-Y. Ruby. Any other questions you got for me, Officer Cadet?
No, sir.
I do want to keep you up to date on something. Out here in White Cross, you may be one flea's leg above the rest of these others. But when you're with me, you're on the same playing ground. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I was
Does that mean
talking,
you're-
I was talking
I mean-
to the half-orc.
I do understand as well, sir.
Sir.
All right. We will gather together. If you have questions, we will talk about it on the wagon. I will have updates for you on who this ambassador is, where we will be staying, and what to expect when we get to Stonewall. Until then, try not to kill each other. And with that, Ruby Jewel leaves the stage, walks past you all, not looking at any of you, and tosses the orders on the ground.
Can I make a history check?
Yes.
As soon as he leaves, I cast Disguised Self to make myself look exactly like him, and I go back up to the podium, and I say, "Try not to kill each other, guys!
17.
I am Ruby Jewel!"
Okay. What are you doing a history check on?
I just want to, because I know him,
That was a fucking nightmare.
do I know like any side of any history about him as a captain back
Yeah.
back home?
Yeah, so you do. You know him really well. He may not know you, but you do know that Ruby Jewel is also from Stonewall. You know that Ruby Jewel was, and rumor has it may still be, a captain of a ship called the Ocean Jewel, which is rumored to be a pirate ship.
Mm.
You know that that he's not someone to be messed with.
I know
on stages. Ooh.
if he left his captainship in a hassle, or he was actually recruited, or do I know anything, like any rumors about the ship, anything?
That's not something you would have information
Okay.
on. Yeah. He's already left the room whenever you did your impersonation to Cask, but he would have heard it as he left, but he didn't come back in.
Do you
And
want
then I
to
cast
get
again. I become Moth, and I say, "It will be an honor to serve you."
I'm gonna kind of just like step up onto the podium and like lean over, looking down at this cat, and cut like the podium.
I'm
gonna...
7 feet tall.
Oh, are you 7 feet tall? You're 7 feet.
I'm 7 feet tall, and when
Oh,
I
shit.
cast Disguise Self, I bring myself a foot down, so I'm your height. But then when I release the spell, I'm like a dire cat puma thing. Yeah,
Oh, okay, fair enough.
yeah, he's pretty burly too.
You
Kinda seen
need to
that.
be careful with that.
I'm 6 feet 4 inches. So I'm gonna look at myself in the eyes and just kind of grip the thing, and the edges of the podium are kind of start breaking, and then I'm gonna go over, grab my orders, and I'm gonna walk out the front doors.
Oh, we each have individual orders?
No, so what that was, it was his orders, it was Ruby's orders. He crumpled them up, he threw them on the floor on his way out. So Fred, Moth, did you grab those?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab those and kind of start uncrinkling it and walk out the front door as I'm looking at them.
Okay. So as you are leaving, Moth, the halfling guard and the human guard, their job is done. They were there to keep you guys in that room until Ruby got there. They kind of just look at each other and they look at you, and you're the closest one to the moth. And the human says, "Good luck, mate. You're going to need it."
And I kind of look at him. I side-eye him. Look, I don't have much of that. And then I'm just going to kind of continue to walk out.
Broody, that one is it.
What's that?
She's got a broody.
Oh.
I want to kind of.
Hey, listen, cat.
The cat stretching.
I'm talking to you. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pull his tail. I'm talking
Yes.
to you.
Oh, hello. I am Cascola Lionel.
Listen, cat. I will just say once, just because you're a cat and you don't know. But I will be really careful with that lot.
Yes, they did not seem to have much of a sense of humor. I gathered as much.
No, it's not humor that he has. He has a lot of blood in his hands. So watch out.
So watch out. Okay. Thank you, small one. I will watch out.
I think we know.
You're welcome, Whiskers, and I will walk.
Whiskas. Yeah, that's probably going to be a new nickname from now on.
Whiskas.
Whiskas.
Whiskers.
Whiskers.
I want to kind of look around at the party and see. It's like, well, seems like a lot of bullshit. And
It's
I
a
want to point at the cat. And say,
fucking
you,
nightmare. That's what it is.
I like you. And then walk out.
I just kind of bow at the waist as he walks out.
I take a match out of my pack from my side. Just put it right in my mouth right there. Kind of like almost like chewing on it like a toothpick. And I think it's the expendable option that they went with.
I cast prestidigitation and I light his match.
And with that, session 0 is over.
Yay!
Good time, guys. Good time.
So I hope that you guys enjoyed session 0. I know that we had already put a lot of legwork into getting our characters made, and I thank you guys for staying about 30 minutes over what we said we would, just to kind of flesh out a little bit of who we are in the world. When we start back with session 1 next week, we will spend that full 2 hours, 5 minutes in Stonewall.
Yay!
Excellent.
All right, guys.